So I just want to speak about how I work from home and kind of what I do. So I've been working at home for just over 7 years. I am in New York now, but for most of the time that I've been working from home, I was going between New York City and San Francisco because we had homes in both places at the time. But basically, I started out working at Saks Fifth Avenue. I went to college for advertising, like mediocre school. I graduated, I worked at Saks Fifth Avenue as associate marketing director for their Fifth Avenue store, which is obviously their biggest store. When I was there, I got to help pioneer this program that was called Corporate Outreach. It was basically the brainchild of the CEO at the time, Steve Sadoff. And his idea was, instead of reaching consumers directly, what if Saks found a way to partner with businesses? So in this corporate outreach role, it was me and another girl, and we had to build all these relationships with businesses. We ended up working with charities, associations, really cool travel groups, tour operators, and I basically got to help build this program that ended up bringing in, I think it was 25 million within the first year. And it was kind of like my brainchild. Probably get in trouble for saying that, but I came up with most of the ideas. So I worked at Saks for 4 years, was totally burnt out. I quit kind of out of nowhere. My girlfriend, who does HR, said that they had to hire 6 people to replace me because I was such a hard worker. Quit, took a little hiatus / maybe had a mini nervous breakdown. And I found a job working as a salesperson for a printer, which was terrible. And then I got a position working as a marketing director for a construction company, a big construction company in New York City. I don't remember how I got the interview, but they asked me if I had ever done RFPs and, intensive graphic design, and I was like, yes, no problem. In reality, I never even looked at an RFP, didn't even know what it stood for. So I had to dive head in. So I've always taken these risks, to just kind of pause for a second while I'm telling all these stories. I've always taken risks in terms of pushing myself to my ability. So in this particular job, I didn't know what I was doing, but I Googled things, I read, I stayed up late, and I taught on myself. This was 10 years ago. I started doing social media. I started using QR codes, which still have been picked up in the US. I was getting press, I was rocking these presentations, designing ads, and I had to teach myself and then the horrible RFPs, which are literally the worst thing in the world, and horrible for creative people that aren't good with details. So construction company, then I went to work in-house as the marketing director for a big plastic surgeon in the city. Really like that, completely rebranded his practice, new logo, new collateral, all new social media. I blew up his YouTube with these patient diary concept that I had, documenting before and after surgery. I redid his skincare. I literally did everything, full compass. So then I ended up leaving because people from my past that I worked with were reaching out for me to work for them. And it was basically more than one company at a time. So I was like, I can't pass this up. So that's when I started my own consulting business called Vital Branding. At first I had an office in Midtown. We actually worked out of my apartment. I had 2 full-time employees at one point. Then my life kind of gravitated where I was living in San Francisco between the coasts. So I couldn't really maintain having employees. I'm also a terrible manager, not my thing at all. But during this time I was using a lot of outsourcers, so website developers from across the world, graphic designers from across the world, social media people from across the world, and I basically found that I could better manage my my projects using all these outsourcers. So that's what I do currently.